He packed her bags while the snow was still falling, convinced I was the monster she'd outgrown. She wanted out, so I let her walk. But she didn't realize she left behind a box that would change her life forever. Now, she's discovering what was actually inside that decoy package. For anyone searching for a husband-wife revenge story or looking up wife betrayal stories on YouTube, you know the pain of unexpected deceit. This isn't just another tale of cheating spouse karma or a generic unfaithful wife narrative. If you've ever searched how to get revenge on an ex or looked for satisfying revenge stories, you understand why justice sometimes requires patience. This is the ultimate ex-wife regret story, filled with marriage betrayal karma that proves patience is the sharpest weapon of all. The silence of a snowy Christmas morning is usually comforting, but today, it felt like the heavy pause before a thunderstorm. Sarah stood in the hallway, wrapped in her expensive designer coat, the one bought with my credit card, clutching a stack of signed divorce papers. She looked at me with a mixture of pity and utter disdain. "I'm leaving, Mark. I deserve a life of luxury, not this mundane existence. You were just a stepping stone." I didn't argue. I didn't beg. In fact, I did something she never expected. I smiled gently and nodded. To pull off the perfect reversal, you must first let your opponent believe they've already won completely. Psychologically, certainty is dangerous. When people believe victory is guaranteed, they stop looking for traps. Sarah expected tears. She expected rage. She expected me to beg. I gave her nothing. By denying her that emotional satisfaction, I shifted the power before she even realized the game had changed. For 6 months, I quietly uncovered her financial infidelity, her hidden assets, her secret transfers, every lie, every receipt, every missing dollar. While she believed I was clueless, I was building a legal fortress. Letting her walk out that front door, smiling, was the final move. As she turned toward the front door, something caught her eye: the Christmas tree. Nestled beneath the branches sat one lonely gift, poorly wrapped, cheap paper, crooked tape, a crushed bow. It looked pathetic. "What is that? Your final pathetic attempt to buy my affection?" "It's just a parting gesture, a little something to remember us by. Take it with you." Sarah smirked. Of course she did. Luxury was her religion. Status was her identity. Appearance was everything. That cheap little package wasn't just disappointing. To her, it was insulting. Exactly as I'd intended. She grabbed it roughly and shoved it into her designer tote. She probably imagined herself opening it later, laughing with her wealthy friends at whatever cheap trinket she believed was inside. She had absolutely no idea that the box wasn't a gift. It was bait, a psychological anchor, carefully designed to exploit one thing: her vanity. Because vanity always defeats patience, and I knew exactly when curiosity would win. The heavy oak door clicked shut. I walked slowly toward the living room window, parted the curtains, just enough to watch her disappear into the falling snow. My heartbeat stayed steady, my thoughts even steadier. Watch your step, Sarah. Enjoy the snow. Enjoy that expensive bag on your shoulder, because in just a few seconds, everything changes. I watched her unlock the car. She tossed her luggage into the back seat, slid behind the steering wheel, closed the door. But she didn't start the engine. Exactly as I predicted. Her hand reached into the tote bag. Curiosity had defeated pride. She couldn't resist opening the pathetic little Christmas gift. I leaned against the window frame, a cold cup of coffee resting in my hand, knowing exactly what she was about to discover in that driveway. The decoy package didn't contain jewelry or some cheap memento. Inside that box was a sleek black flash drive, and beneath it, a thick legal folder. On that flash drive was the complete digital footprint of her hidden offshore bank accounts, the forensic audit of every dollar she had embezzled from our shared business, and high-definition surveillance footage of every secret meeting she'd held with her accomplice. The legal folder contained something even worse, a freshly stamped court injunction freezing every single one of those accounts. Effective 8 a.m. Christmas morning. Alongside it was a lawsuit, grand larceny, fraud, financial deception, every page already filed. From my window, I watched the exact moment she opened the box. Even from that distance, the change in her posture was impossible to miss. The smug, triumphant tilt of her head simply disappeared. She froze. Then her hands began moving, faster, more desperate. She flipped through the legal documents, one page after another, the bright white paper glowing against the dark interior of the car. Then suddenly, her phone shot to her ear. No doubt trying to access the accounts, transfer the money, call someone, do anything. But it was already over. The digital vault was completely locked. She looked up from the papers, her face drained of every ounce of color. Pure terror. Slowly, she turned and stared directly at the house, right at my window. But she couldn't see me. The tinted glass kept me completely hidden. For the first time in years, Sarah was completely alone, standing in the freezing cold, holding a box filled with the evidence of her own destruction. And in that silent Christmas morning, she finally understood. The man she thought she'd outsmarted had been holding every single card the entire time.